like, I remember even just like watching me like, oh my God, wow, that was like really impressive.
Oh my God, pause. Let me kick him out of the room.
No,
give me 1 second.
literally,
I'm so sorry.
I want to see him.
It's not very nice. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Friendlies, brought to you by the Women's Game. I'm Sam Coffey, and I am so happy to be joined again by a player who is defined by her consistency, vision, and leadership, often described as the quarterback of this new U.S. Women's National Team. It's Portland Thorns midfielder and captain, Sam Coffey. Sam, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
This episode of Friendlies is brought to you by Verizon, an official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026. If you're with Verizon, you have the opportunity to score golden tickets to watch a portion of the FIFA World Cup from the field for the first time ever and closer than ever before. Enter now for a once-in-a-lifetime chance to win this exclusive pitch-side access in the My Verizon app. And if you're not a Verizon customer, make the switch today. Don't miss out. The Golden Tickets sweepstakes ends on November 20th. This FIFA World Cup, no one gets you closer than Verizon. No purchase necessary. For terms and conditions, check out My Access within the My Verizon app. All right, everybody. Here is our interview with Sam Coffey. Oh, I'm so excited to chat. We were just like babbling off camera about the weather and the fall and how much we love it. I can't wait to chat with you. I love talking to you. Before we get into everything, you, Portland Thorns, U.S. Women's National Team, last time we spoke, you were telling me about how much you love the Pacific Northwest, the hiking, the outdoors, and you told me that you have a sailboat. So I thought I should ask how the sailing season was this year.
Oh my gosh, Sam, thank you so much for asking. Like, not enough people ask, you know? Like, I'm just kind of put in this box as a soccer player, and like, people don't really... you know, like they don't really care. So thank you so much for asking.
I care.
Thank you. I'm actually, depending on when we finish and how much light is left, I might be going today because it's a perfect fall day. It's literally 60 degrees. The sun is out. Mount Hood is like sparkling. It's so clear. So I feel like I have to. But yes, I try to go as much as I can. Kind of if I'm on a good run, like once a week, it's just like my happy place. I love the water, and people from the Pacific Northwest can attest to it. We are nearing the end times of just sunshine. So yeah, it's like you got to get it in because the rain is about to start for eternity, aka until April. And there probably won't be much sailing then. So I'm trying to squeeze it all in.
Okay, well, one, I'm like so glad you're getting it in. That is like so amazing. I have so many questions about it, but I do want to focus on the weather for a second because likewise, I'm here in Vermont. It is just becoming fall. The foliage is happening and it's beautiful. Yes. And there is something, take it full advantage of the summer, get outside the whole time. But there is something very special about when it gets cold and you're like, oh, I can sit inside now.
Yes. And there's like, I don't have a reason outside of like soccer practice, you know, like I don't have a reason to leave, you know, I'm sure it's the same for you. It's like, if the sun is out in Portland, you better be out there. And if you're not, it's like
kind of a crime.
And then, a crime.
So then when it rains and gets a little bit cold, I'm kind of like, ooh, like,
yes,
good, like, yay.
I get excited too. Or like my mood doesn't match the weather. I'm like, I'm a little tired today, but it's so sunny. So like, I have to be out.
I know. It's almost like, the sun just forces you out there. I appreciate it while it's here. Okay, my last question about the outdoors and sailing. Do you go sailing by yourself?
It's a hot topic amongst just like my friends and family. They don't love me going alone.
Yeah.
Which I totally understand.
Yeah.
It is just a river. So like the worst thing that can happen is like I just kind of drift into some land and then like I get rescued and it's fine, which has happened to me before. And we have lived to tell the tale. But no, I actually have a really good friend I've met through our team chaplain here, Christina, who I've gotten really close with. Someone she went to college with. Him and his family live on a houseboat, actually, which is like for sure a dream of mine. I would love to live on a floating home. I think it would be so fun. But like then if there's like one wave, then like all your dishes kind of like, you know, follow, like your cabinets open up. But he has, he also has a sailboat. So we tend to go out a lot together. So
fun.
He's been like my sailing buddy. So it's been nice to not do it alone.
Yeah, that's so fun. I didn't ask to like be judgmental. I was just so interested if you were like, is it like you're the skipper of your own sailboat?
I mean, look, I will say like my happiest place is like my headphones are on. I'm out there kind of like a solo sail. The wind is good. It's just like, it's hard to describe. It's such a great feeling. But then I'm just a girl, Sam. So like I'll have a motor issue or I don't know, something. It's the high seas, aka the Columbia River. So it's like if there's a problem, I don't have a ton of solutions in my back pocket, but like that bliss, even for those couple moments, is just worth it.
Okay, you are just like an endless mystery, and I wish we could talk sailing forever, but I am supposed to talk to you about soccer,
Okay.
which I am also excited about because
Me
since
too,
the last
me
time
too.
we spoke, so much has changed. You grew up on the East Coast in New York, but you've been in Portland playing for the Thorns your whole NWSL career. You started playing there right out of college in 2022, but this, as your fourth season, I feel like was kind of a landmark season. The Thorns are one of the most historic teams in the NWSL, and a big part of that is because some of the greatest players have always played there. But at the end of the 2024 season, some of those players, really notable faces like Christine Sinclair and Megan Klingenberg and our very good friend Becky Sauerbrunn, announced that they'd be stepping away from the team. So the Thorns brought in a lot of new players. And I do feel at the beginning of the season, there was a little bit of talk about how this team's really historic identity would adjust and if you guys could succeed, or would this be kind of like a rebuilding year? And so you've spent your whole NWSL career with this team. Did you have any nerves about how this season was going to go as like this kind of transition moment?
Yeah. I don't know if nerves is the right word. I think I wouldn't describe it as nerves. I think really curious is maybe the word I would use. Like, to your point, the Thorns have just been like this staple in the league, and like there are certain people and faces that you just like associate with it, and then all of those leave essentially. And you're kind of just like, whoa, like who are we? Like, who are we without these people? Who are we even with, like, Soph being on maternity leave? Like, who are we outside of some of these just incredible players and people that have built this team and like made it what it is? And then, we have like new ownership in and a new GM. Like, there is so much change. And so I think, I don't know, there was something about like all these people asking that question. I think, of course, like you read that as a player and you're kind of like, oh, like that's, they're, maybe they have a point. Like, I don't know. But I think as someone who has like, I feel like been through so many iterations of this team, I ultimately just felt curious, but I never really feel like I had a doubt that we would be able to do what we wanted to set out to do. I knew it would be a challenge. There would be so many highs and lows, which I feel like is indicative of our season. I think we've exceeded so many expectations. I'm like so proud of us in the way that we've done that, and like have really just like, for so many of our players, like this is your first go around and you like don't know until you know. We have run with it and like made the most of it, and have in many ways just like learned as we go, myself included. I'm so proud of our team and the way we've shown up in what has like presented itself as so unfamiliar and new, and have kind of like written our own version of like what this year's Thorns are. And every team I've been on has been so different, but I think this year more than any of the others, like we are making it our own, because so many of those new players, like they don't know Sinky, they don't know Becky, like they don't understand some of like the history. And so you want to be a part of something you can relate to, of course. And so like we very much so are creating like that history too for ourselves, and like writing our own story of like, what does this version of the Thorns look like, and who are we going to be, and how do we want to continue writing that like in the future. This whole year I've been curious, and I feel like it has been just it's been such a joy. It's been such a challenge. There have been all the emotions. I'm so proud of our team for like the way that we've navigated it, just like head on, fearless, and just have like done it.
Yeah, this is so interesting to me, and it's actually really reminding me of this time in my career where in 2016, I was on Western New York and we won the championship, and we were kind of this like Cinderella team. But then we moved to North Carolina, and it was this moment of like, we need to like recreate a culture and a whole new team identity. And we're a new club now. But something that was really important to me, and I remember saying it the first day to the whole group, was like, I need everybody in this room. I know you weren't all here last year when we lived in Buffalo, but like that was really important. And like, I want us to carry that history into this next chapter, while understanding that like half of you are new, half of you weren't there. But I feel like I need you guys to like embody that kind of like underdog, David versus Goliath mentality, because that's really what this team was like built on. And I think what interests me about what you're saying is how you kind of instill the history and the culture of all of those iconic players that have been a part of the Thorns into a new group who may not know them. How do you, who's captain now, which we're going to get to in a second, help carry over that kind of history?
I think it's such a good question. And it's something I've like asked myself truly like the whole year, because, and I'm sure you can relate to this in your experience in North Carolina, but it's like, you don't want to harp on the history that people can't relate to. But at the same time, we need that history. Like, you need to understand the fabric of this club and what it's been through. And that's even for like myself. I mean, yeah, I've been here 4 years, which is on the longer side of like the majority of the players. But even for me, it's like, okay, who came before me? What happened before I got here? Like, and I think the Thorns specifically has, for better or for worse, been through some stuff. It's not about dwelling on what's happened, but it's like, it is so important into like the DNA of who we are as a club and who we want to be, not repeating the same mistakes, like continuing to evolve in our history and just like always seeking to become like the best version of ourselves, while also recreating that so that everybody in our locker room feels a part of it. And I think, like, honestly, Sam, to answer your question, like, I think of an example, and it was before we played Seattle at home. I just like felt in the built up to the week, like, we didn't get it. Like, we didn't.
Like the rivalry.
Yes. Like, we didn't get it. I'm like, I'm not feeling it. And I don't blame anyone. Like, of course,
they're
like,
rookies. They don't know.
You're like, okay, Seattle, like, that's a little far away. But like, I'm like, how do you tell someone what this means? And you can't, right? Like, you can't tell them. But in the lead up to that game, I'd just been like reflecting on some of what I was feeling in the lead up. Like, by no means, like, everyone was doing everything they could to prepare, but I think in many ways it sort of just like felt like another game. People were trying to tell each other like what it means, staff trying to like, encourage of like past rivalry games. I'm like, yeah, like, you get it, but like, you don't. And so before that game, I'd actually reached out to Sinky, to Becky, to Lindsay, to Kling, and had essentially just asked them like, can you send a little something about like what this game means to you, and just like words of encouragement for the team, whatever you want to say. Expletives encouraged, like, just love please. And like Becky was like, of course, like Lindsay, Kling, all like almost right away. Sinky, I had to like send wait 3 to 5 business days to get a response. And I'm like, please, Sinky, like, it really means a lot. She's like, relax, I'm gonna send it. I'm like, okay. Okay, I'm so sorry to bother you. And they all just sent like their own perfect version of like what these games mean, and even just like their most fond memories of playing in them, and just like the pride that goes in. And then even in like our huddle before the game, like I had pretty much just expressed to the group, like, you've heard all about it, but like now we make it ours. And like now it's our version, this team's version of like chills. What it means. And I think honestly, like I use that example as this like, yeah, just like a bigger picture example of what this year has been, where we need our history and like it is so massively important, but at the same time, like we have to make it now our own and like turn the page. We aren't what we used to be, but we absolutely need that in like writing kind of the narrative of who we want to become.
That example was so perfect, and you like so exceeded my expectations for an answer for that question. And it brings me to my next one, which this responsibility of teaching the newer players what it means to be a Thorn and what it means to play against Seattle fell to you. And I know you have teammates, I know you have a ton of support, but
yeah,
how did you feel becoming captain, representing a club that has been captained by players like Becky and Sank? What was your reaction at first, and what have been some of the challenges throughout the year for you?
I feel like challenge gets a negative connotation just like as a word, but I do think that that's how I would put it in like all the best ways too. Like I feel personally I've grown so much as a player, person, leader, and like I'm truly learning as I go. And obviously, like, I'd been in some leadership positions in the build up to this year, but like, it's always like when you're like with your parents, you're just like looking at Becky and like looking at Sinky and you're like, oh, we're fine. Like, I'm good. Like, they know what to do. They know what to say. And then all of a sudden this year being like, oh no, like, where are they? And just, I think it just like reminds you of the importance of players and people like them. And I think it's given me such a new, I mean, obviously, like I walked in my first day and was just like, oh my God, like in awe. It does give you like this newfound respect and awe for like what they did and the way that they did it. And it just makes me think of like all the lessons and things I feel like I even just picked up from simply being around them. To your point, I do feel like we have an amazing group of leaders on the team. Like you have someone like Bella, who's been here for 8 years, who knows our history and cares more about this club, like more than anyone. Jessie, Liv, even though she's super young, like has been here now for a while and like is absolutely stepping into a role as a leader and doing so great. Like we have so many so many amazing women that do get it, whether that's been here or it's been elsewhere, and like they have so much to give to our team. So like I can't stress the just the impact that that's had. But yeah, I think I've definitely felt the weight of that a lot this year, and like wanting to, of course, just like do a good job, but like I think more than that, just like honor the standard that has been set, and not just like meet it, but hopefully continue to push it in whatever way I can. And I think it's really easy to just like base that on results. And I do think it goes like so far beyond that. Like I think it so much of the way I've judged or have reflected on like the job I've done is just like the people around me and how they're doing, whether that's as players, as people, just like in their own lives. And I think just like valuing that more than whatever our record is. And like, of course, we want to be in playoffs. We want to win a championship. We want to do all these things. And I have like such belief that we can. I've found like such joy even in like the impact that has nothing to do with like the outcome that I think this role has given me, and just trying to be for players what I had in a Becky or a Sinky or Chris when I, first got here, Kling. Like, I mean, I can literally name almost all of our locker room. And so that has been just such like a joyful, hard, emotional challenge in so many ways. And I've truly have just like learned as I go. And I am really grateful for like the lessons I think that this year has given me.
You are like so well spoken, and I love hearing you talk. I feel like I'm like taking little nuggets of what you're saying out to like literally apply to my personal life, which is, it's so like amazing and refreshing to talk to you. And I think that you have a long career ahead of you of being captain of teams that you play for. So this is just year one, and it already sounds like you've learned so much and that you're already doing such an amazing job. I want to hear a little bit about the Thorns on the field, because in the early part of the season, the team was struggling a little bit to find their footing and adjust. You had a lot of young new players, as we've talked about. Was there a game where on the field you really felt like, okay, things are finally kind of clicking into place?
Historically, and I think even still to this day, like I think like our performances on the road have been our biggest area for improvement. I think our game against Utah, I think it was our second away game. That was one I think where I felt like, okay, it's starting to come together. We have really good pieces, a road win at like a hard place to go. And then I think we're like the first moment I was like, oh yeah, like we can be really, really good was when we played Gotham at home. I remember, I think it was like 4-1 or 4-2. Like it was like a weird Tuesday game. But we were just like dynamic.
I think that was in April, and all the goal scorers were players who were new to the team.
Yes. And I think that was just like the first time. And I think that was like the biggest part of it was like our young talent was just like, boom, like showing off, doing their thing. Kai scored. I think Pietra scored, if I'm remembering correctly. As you know, it's like all these games. Just
I know.
They're all the same.
Nobody's going to fact check you. It's fine.
Okay. All right. You guys call me out if it's wrong. But I feel like every goal was like really good. Like our goals were like, I remember even just like watching me like, oh my God, wow. That was like really impressive.
Oh my God, pause. Let me kick him out of the room.
No,
give me 1 second. I'm so sorry.
I want to see him.
That's not very nice.
That's not very nice. Sam, he literally just wants to be with you.
My husband came rushing up the stairs because he felt bad, and I was like, "Oh, it's fine. Sam is like so nice."
It's just me. No, I literally like he's more than welcome on the show. He should start speaking.
Literally, like I know. I wish he could be on it more often, but he just barks at me. Okay, I'm literally so sorry. You were saying all the goals were really great. The newer players were stepping up.
Yeah, and I just think I remember it being the first really like I feel like a full showcase like of our talent. And Gotham's obviously such a great team, and I think I just felt like it was almost like the crowd, the supporters, the team, like our younger players, it all just felt like it was this clicking, like this coming together. And I think it was the first time I really felt like, wow, like we can be really, really good. And we absolutely have a lot of work to do. But I think that was like the first glimpse of like our true potential. And yeah, that game definitely got me excited.
Yeah, you guys it's been fun to watch your journey. I think, look, I notoriously have been was rivals with the Thorns when I was a player.
You're like, you suck.
But I have a lot of love for everybody. I really do. I think people who listen to the show know that I really do have a lot of love for everybody.
I think everyone knows that.
Thanks, Sam. But This season in particular was and is still so competitive and so intense. Like the race to playoffs was so close. Yeah. Your team has not been able to take their foot off the gas for even a second.
No.
And I do feel like, here in the media, we're always talking about how the NWSL is the most competitive league in the world from top to bottom. And that's been true in the table almost all season. As a player, I'm wondering, one, if you agree, but two, tell us what that feels like week in and week out. Like, what does the competitiveness of every single game feel like?
Yeah, no, it's competitive. Yeah. I think it's like presently, it's like if you win, you're like in the top 2 or 3. And then if you lose, you're relegated, and that doesn't even exist yet. And so it's just like, whoa, man, like this is nuts. And look, as you totally understand, Sam, like playing in that is just the best. Like it's so fun. And it also drives you nuts because like there's no margin for error. As I reflect on this year, and obviously we still have so much, I think, left to do that I'm really excited about. But the biggest area I think that I'm excited for us to improve in is our consistency. And I think we've had glimpses of just being this really electric team, but we have not been that on nearly as a consistent basis as we need to be. And as you know, there's like a myriad of reasons that go into that. And obviously I think our youth, just like being young and inexperienced is part of that. It's like you're learning these lessons as you go. And like we can try, as veteran players, like we can try to tell you, but like you just don't get it until you get it. Playing in that though, it's just like, every point matters. And you think like, yeah, every year I feel like we get to this part of the year and we're like decision day and every game. And it's like, no, that's like April. And it's like, no, did you win in that random Tuesday game? Because like that could be do or die for you.
If you're in or out of playoffs by 1 point, you can go back to any game and choose which point you dropped.
Any game. And I think, right, the competitiveness of it is what makes it entertaining, fun to watch, so fun to be a part of. I mean, look, do I wish there were times where you could just be like, it's just like just a little weekend kick around, if it doesn't go our way, it is what it is. Like, obviously none of us are operated like that. We're all so psychotically competitive, but like the fact that any point or 3 points could impact the table the way it has, I think especially this year, it's just diabolical. Like it really is. And it's so fun. Like I wouldn't have it any other way. So
I know. I do think, and I can't help myself but to ask, but like, I think there's so much conversation around huge national team players going and playing abroad. We've also had huge international stars come play in the NWSL. Tama Chewinga, Barbara Banda, and Katrin Berger. Marta has played here forever. Sophia Cantori and Jackie Ovalle have also come to play here in the league this year, which I think the level that you're talking about, the competitiveness week in and week out, is, we all know that's so good for your national team career because you're being pushed every single game. But obviously getting experience overseas would also be good for anyone's national team career as long as you are making a decision that's right for you. Do you think that's in the cards for you at any point? I know I can't like really ask you that directly or ask you to make any like headline statements, but do you see the value in teammates going and playing abroad?
Totally. I totally do. And I think, to your point, and like you did it, like I think it's just another like tool in your arsenal. It's just a different challenge. And even though I don't think there is a league out there as maniacal as ours, like it's also like, is that the only thing? Like, is that the only thing that you value? And that's where I do think going to play abroad, like really is appealing for so many players, is because it's just like a different challenge, whether that's style of play, quality, access to resources, Champions League, like so many different factors go into that. Just like, it's just different, and different isn't better or worse. And I think that that's where I feel like the narrative has kind of gotten off the tracks a bit, is like, it's this direct, like, middle finger to the NWSL. And it's like, no, it's just like, it's your career, and you want to just maybe try something new. And so, I mean, I totally understand the players that have gone to go do that. While, obviously, like, I value the work that the NWSL has done to get to this point where we are just like this incredibly competitive league. And I know it's only growing and getting better, even like with expansion and all these things. And so it makes me really excited for its future.
Perfect answer, Sam. I'm like honestly so glad I asked, because I think that's such great perspective. We do all get caught up in like, what does this mean for the future of the league? And what does this mean for her career? And does she hate playing here? And I think That is, the media has a tendency to do that. And I've learned that in my career here, but I really appreciate what you said about it. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the national team. The last time you were on the show, you had just won a gold medal at the Olympics, but there was still a little like element of newness to maybe how you felt about your role in the national team. Now you've become a fixture of the group. You were just called in for the team's friendlies against Portugal and New Zealand. I know that every call in is so special, but you are becoming kind of a veteran now. So I'm wondering, when you get the invite, do you still feel relief?
I mean, look, and I'm sure you were the same. Like, I take nothing for granted. Like, I don't know if relief is the word. I do think it very much so was that in like the earlier part of my career was like, I really don't know. And I feel so grateful and fortunate to be in a position where I don't feel as much of that, but I don't take it for any less granted. I always joke with Erica Walsh, or Dombeck rather, my former coach at Penn State, who's just like my North Star, just love her to death, that like she's always going to hear it from me. And like if I get, and actually I did get a sarcastic text from her because I actually like forgot this last time, but there's been a lot going on. It's playoffs. But like that she does have to call me out, and she did. She literally was like, I'm still waiting. Shoot, like am I changing, like so I owe her a call. But no, I reflect on my journey a lot, and I just feel one is just like so much more still left I want to do, and like so much I'm still excited about, but I feel just so much gratitude in like the way that my role has evolved in the team, and just like continuing to step forward into that and be hungry and motivated. Anytime, you get the email, you get the call, it's just like, wow, I am so grateful I get to do this, and like I get to be a part of the best team in the world. And like I think this has been like such a long span without camp, and I'm just like I literally called Emma and I were on the phone like a week ago or a week and a half ago, and I'm like, can we go? Like, can we go already? And she's like, I know. And I'm like, it's been way too long, like way too long. I feel just so much gratitude in the role that I get to have on the team, and I just want to continue to grow in that.
I can already see some of the things that you're talking about, being captain of the Thorns, being a leader, becoming the norm for you in national team camp too. And I'm curious, I spoke with Trinity Rodman just the other day about how she's like kind of one of the players with more experience out there now. And are these young new players going to come to you for advice? And I'm curious if you've already felt that. Like, do you already feel this sense of, oh, I've been here, I have a gold medal?
I think like really after the Olympics, like really in the start of this year, I started to feel that a lot more, especially as we had some players out and injured, and like rosters were looking different. And obviously this has been the year where I feel like the staff has really experimented with the pool a lot, and we have so many young, exciting players. Yeah, I was like, I'm starting to be in these leadership meetings, and I got to wear the armband for 30 minutes in the last window, and it's just like, I'm like, what? Very similar to Tren. I think just like, whoa, like when did this happen? I'm sure you can relate to this in your own career. It just kind of happens, and you're like, when did that happen? Like, when did we get there? Like, I think even as a Thorn, I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to just like sit crisscross applesauce and like look to Becky and Sinky and Clay and be like, okay, like sounds good. And now like I have to do this stuff. So it's just this like amazing progression, but also it happens so seamlessly and all of a sudden also at the same time. So I do absolutely feel that. I think I feel so much, again, like gratitude, responsibility with that as well. And I do feel like I've come into myself most as a player as I continue to grow as a leader. And so I think, and even just like being a six and sort of your position like physically on the field, I feel like a lot of that does align with like who I want to be as a leader too. So it does feel in many ways just like this really cool progression of like, this is how it's supposed to be. It's been like such a pleasure and joy to be able to do that, especially like with the other amazing women that I get to deal with in the national team environment too.
I feel like I like might have said this to you verbatim last time we talked, but I like truly, when I think about, my time on the national team, the idea of passing the team along to the next generation, like you're the exact kind of player that players like me want to think about inheriting the jersey and inheriting the team, because I can just tell from the few times we've interacted, you're so wholesome and it means so much to you. Yeah. And I see myself in that. I'm like, Sam cares about this the same way I cared about this. And that's really cool. And it just gives me this really like confident and positive feeling. Yeah. I feel like Emma also gets that from you. She actually recently said, about you, they don't make players like Sam Coffey anymore. I'm wondering if you heard that quote and how did
I'm
it
like,
make you feel?
is that a diss?
Literally, no. I was like,
No,
I
I'm
know,
kidding.
Emma. They
I'm
don't.
kidding.
They don't
I'm
make
kidding. I'm
people like that.
yeah, no, I mean, I love that girl. I mean, she's crazy, like in the best way. I no, but truly, like I've learned so much from her, and I do feel like instantly we just like had a connection. I feel like so fortunate to be able to be coached by her, and she's obviously just like tactically brilliant, but she's just like an even better person and such a funny person. Like it's just so like camp. And I'm sure you can attest to this. Like, camp has been, I feel like the history has just been wild. And like, you never know what it was going to be. And like, you obviously wanted it more than anything, but you also, I think it was just like a complicated experience for people, right? I do feel like we're arriving at this place where the environment is so joyful and healthy and like
Yeah,
as it should be. And it's so holistic. Like, it is so centered around like, not just the player, but like the female athlete and like our well-being and like who is the person behind the player. And I think she's done just such an exceptional job with that. Obviously, like her words mean very much to me. And it's just been like so wonderful getting to know her as a coach, but as a person too. And I yeah, I'm like, they don't make them like me anymore. I'm like, is that like am I what why like
what is it about me?
Yeah, I'm like, I know I'm a little out there, but okay.
I mean, it really, like, I saw that as such a huge compliment. She obviously went on to describe all the amazing things about you. I also think when you have such a positive relationship with your coach like that, it can give you more confidence to play like yourself. Like, I remember one time when I played for Jill Ellis that she like told me she saw me in the future of the team. And that day I scored 2 goals because I was like, Jill believes in me. Like I believe in myself.
Yes.
What really stood out to me this year about you was when you scored that goal against Ireland, where you like started the play and then you continued your run from the 6th position all the way up into the box. And you end up getting the ball back and dribbling into the box and scoring with your left foot yourself. And I'm wondering if you feel that freedom to take a risk, maybe because of your relationship with Emma and your place on the team kind of solidifying.
I think freedom is like the perfect word. I think obviously every system's different. Yeah, I don't always go as rogue that way with the Thorns because we play a different way. And like there's no like that's not a criticism at all. I think the beauty of our team with it, like the US Women's National Team and just the way we play is like I know someone's back there. Like because I think it's a 6 and you get it. I'm like can I go? Like, can I join? I'm like, countermeasures, girls, like.
And it's like, well, if you score a goal, you can. So you just gotta go.
And if I shanked it, then never again. And so, no, I think what she gets out of players is just, obviously, I mean, I think just like the best version of who they are. Our system is equal parts structure and like clarity around this is who we are and how we play, and also who am I in that, and like be who you are in that and be free in that. Because when you have too much structure, then you play like a robot and it's usually not fun for anyone or to watch. It's not fun to watch. But then when you are too free, then you're a little bit crazy and you mess around and you find out, for lack of a better term. But I do think that our staff and just specifically like Emma has done just an amazing job with bringing both of those things together to where players are like, okay, my role is so clear. Like I know going into every game, it feels so clear, which as you know, as a player is like, oh, it's so wonderful. Like when it's just clear. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, who am I and how do I get to just bring like my biggest strengths to the system that they're also like laying as the foundation, and how can I be free and have some autonomy in that as well. So that's why I'm going rogue. I'm joining, I'm getting in the box. I'm like, oh, all right, Claire's back.
It was perfect. It really stood out to me. Like I loved watching that goal because it was just this moment of exactly freedom for in the midfield that like I love seeing.
Yeah.
I think, as a midfielder, I'm just like, I always want the midfielders involved in the attack. And when there's that rotation and that freedom to go, it's just like a sign of a really cohesive unit. And so I was like so excited about that goal. It stood out to me so much. Yeah. I also really loved your celebration. I love your shrug. I think it's so funny. And I want to know if you'll tell us about it.
I mean, there's literally nothing to tell Sam. People keep asking me if it's like my thing. And I just like, I black out and I don't know what to do because it doesn't happen that often. And like, for some reason, something in my brain just switches and I'm just like, oh, all right, I guess me, I don't know. Found myself up here.
I feel like you have to just own it.
I do. Or I need to just like be better in the moment and like come up with something a little bit more. I need to come up with something a little more creative.
I didn't have
like,
anything.
I feel like you would like, you would, did you jump like this or like, I don't know.
Yeah, like it wasn't
like,
planned though. It was just like excitement surging through my body, and like
Yes.
a child, I would jump up and down with my hands over my head.
That's it. And I'm just like, okay. And then in the moment I'm like, oh no, I blacked out. And then I like see it back again. I'm like, that just was whatever. It's fine. If I'm helping the team win, I don't care about the celebration. It's just, yeah, I think I need to get like a little more creative. Like I'm never going to be like a planned kind of girly where it's like, I have something in my mind.
Yeah.
That's not me. And like, that's also just like not gonna happen. But I do, like, let's be real. But I think in the moment I can like just be a little bit more thoughtful instead of like whatever switch is flipped and like my hands just start to rise and I'm like, oh no.
We just want natural, authentic Sam Coffey.
I mean,
I
look,
speak for everybody. We want the shrug. We want
you're
whatever
getting
comes
it.
into your
You're
brain.
getting it.
Okay, I am gonna start to wrap this up. I do have a couple more questions.
Okay.
One of them is basically just about other tournaments that have been going on. So obviously 2027 is approaching. I just feel like yesterday we were saying it's still 2.5 years away, and it's kind of like almost 1.5 years away now. So she's definitely coming. But meanwhile, there were a ton of tournaments this summer, like the Euros, the WAFCON, the Copa America. Did you watch any of those? And if so, what teams did you see that you were impressed by?
I think I watched a little bit of each of them. I also remember getting even the WAFCON final was so hard to get. I had to go.
I know.
I think I actually had to ask Kaif. I'm like, do you have a login? Like, can I watch this? Like, I don't know how to access it. So I hope that it's a little bit more accessible in the future. But
yes,
I did.
Well, they're doing it again next summer. And I think the hope is they're going to like realign it with the schedule they want to be on. And maybe, you know, it will be a little bit more accessible.
Yeah. You understand this too. I think there's nothing like sitting back on your couch and just like, I'm free.
Watching another national team be stressed and try to win a tournament.
Yes, there's just something really like I feel for all the girls. Like it's so right. Like
you literally
I don't even know
feel
yet.
For
I've literally
them.
only been a part of one, but I'm just like there's something so wonderful about just like being a soccer fan and not having like your own horse in the race and like your own stake. And so I really just enjoy like being a fan and just like watching these teams. I think the Euros, I think I watched the most of, was just so competitive, like so much talent. Obviously, like huge credits to England for. I just feel like their journey, like obviously as an American, I'm like, ugh, like really.
But it was sick.
But I'm also at the same time as like an athlete and just like I'm like, oh, that is you overcame adversity, like so much of it, and that's incredible. And so I think I just have so much respect for them. I think it was another incredible example of just like the way women's soccer is developing and like moving forward and just continuously becoming so just like sought after and so entertaining, and that the world is like really waking up to that. It brings me so much excitement, and especially getting to be a part of that even within our own league and major tournaments to come. So but I just love sitting on my couch, sitting back, relaxing. Like, all right, I have the impact of this game does not affect me, at least right now.
Yeah, it is so much less stressful. I do feel really bad, like when there's a game on that I like really care about. I'm like, oh my God, imagine how our parents and like friends felt watching us in the most stressful tournaments. Like I can't even imagine. So it is really nice to like not really have a horse in the race. Speaking of being a huge soccer fan and watching tournaments, the Men's World Cup is coming right into our backyards next summer. I know you have so many other important things on your mind about your own career, but I'm just wondering if you also enjoy watching men's football and if you have a team or a player you're excited to watch next summer.
Yes, Sam, I do. I watch any football I watch. Honestly, I'm just like look, I love the game. What can I say? I'm a soccer junkie, one might say. I've always been that way though. Like if there's a game on, chances are I'm watching it. Even like I talked about Erica, Coach Erica, I literally still call her Coach. Like that's just
so cute.
She's Coach. She's gonna be Coach forever. But like I still follow like Penn State women's soccer. Like I'm watching college soccer. I'm like, okay, this feels like a little bit of a stretch. But like if a game's on a Thursday and nothing else is, why not criticize 18 to 22-year-old girls, you know?
I mean, somebody's got to do it.
Someone has to do it. But yes, I'm really excited about it. Obviously, just like it's so fun, I think, to just support US soccer in that, and like especially with the men's team. And I think their evolution has been really interesting to follow. And I think they've just been through so much as a team, but I think just getting behind them and supporting them is going to be a ton of fun. Club wise, like I am a big Arsenal fan. I think people know that about me, but like I fear I do really love Arsenal, and I do really love a lot of those players.
That's great.
Yeah, no, I have a mild obsession with Declan Rice, and so I'm really excited to watch him. Saka, like I just love him. I think he's, I mean, so good, but even just like as a person, he just seems really pure and wholesome and like a good human being. So excited to watch them, or just like, yeah, some of those guys. I mean, obviously rooting for our boys.
Yeah, I figured that you would be. You just seem like you know, you're just going to cheer for us.
I'm in it for the
plot. I just love that about you.
I'm in it for the plot.
Like, I know the plot is thick.
It's so thick.
Well, I'm like excited. I feel like I need to learn more about it. So I do want to kind of start asking people. Like, I think that we're all football fans here, and like I'm excited for this opportunity to watch even more soccer. And I actually recently saw Jessica Berman was talking about, you know, the plans for the NWSL during the Men's World Cup, and she said something like, I want women's soccer up there right next to this enormous global cultural moment. And I loved that viewpoint of just being like, yes, this is happening, and for some of our season we're going to have a break and they're going to be in our facilities, but we're going to be right back up here. And so I just feel like talking about them hand in hand for football fans like makes a lot of sense. Okay, I've kept you way too long, Sam. I have one last question, then I'm going to let you go.
I would stay here all day.
I know. I'm having like literally the best time. The year is winding down. So I want to know if you can share with us one highlight so far of 2025, and then one thing that you're still looking forward to.
Ooh, that's really good. I mean, does it have to be like one like event, or can it be just like general?
It can be anything in your whole life.
Okay.
From this year.
It can be anything, literally in your whole life. I'm looking forward to just like our continued playoff run. I'm so excited. I have so much belief in our team. I think we've been through so much as a group this year, but I think more than anything, like we're prepared. I think we've faced so much adversity that it's like, all right. Oh, I almost knocked over my lamp.
Literally so excited.
I'm like, all right, whatever's going to come our way. I'm like, we are ready. We are battle tested. And I think like just kind of almost having that armor, you're like, let's do it. So I'm really excited about that. And I have so much faith in our team. I think we have so much talent, and I'm really excited to like enter into this maybe uncharted territory too, with like some of our younger players, and just experiencing that and doing my best to lead in that. But that kind of segues into my highlight, which truly has been like, I think growing and developing as a leader. I feel like I've grown, or I've learned so much. And sometimes when you're in it, you're like, ugh, like, why does it have to go this way? Or why is it this hard? But now like thinking back, I'm like, wow, like I wouldn't have it any other way. And you just feel gratitude, I think, for the lessons that you get to learn. And yes, as like the way I have grown as a leader in some of that, but I think just even more so just the lessons I've learned as like a human, and the way I think that will equip me for the future and everything that's to come. Obviously, like so many big things to come for the women's national team and the Thorns. And as I reflect, like I feel a lot of gratitude for the tools I think those lessons have given me, and just the growth that this year has given me, whether I've liked it or not, whether it's been fun or not. And I just hope that continues to happen.
That was such an incredible answer. I like wish we had like been teammates, because I just find myself sitting here like, I feel like you and me would have been really great friends.
Yeah.
We can be still now, but like I just love, I really love chatting to you. And
yes, likewise.
I'm really cheering for you. I have loved watching you play this season at the Olympics last summer. I'm a huge fan. I love that you kind of wrapped us back up with kind of where we started, which is like your journey as a leader. I'm so excited to see you continue to grow, and I will be rooting for you, even though you play for the Thorns.
I understand. Thank you. So lovely to chat with you always. Literally, please have me back whenever.
Oh my God, literally. I'll call you next week. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you all so much for listening. Before we let you go, we've got our linked up voicemail of the week presented by Verizon. Each week, we want to hear from you, so call and leave us a voicemail at 855-611-4050, and you may be featured on a future episode of Friendlies. Here's our caller this week.
Hi, Sam, and potentially Lynn and or Becky. My name is Bridget. I have a question that goes all the way back to Lynn and her broken medal from the Olympics. I was lucky enough to get to go to the Euros this year, and I was watching those girls walk around the pitch celebrating, and they were swinging their medals around probably more aggressively, I mean, maybe not, than Lynn was after the Olympics, and all of their medals seemed to stay intact. So I'm wondering if you think that the Euros, people who make the medals, learned from our very own Lynn in making them a bit more durable so that our girls can celebrate properly, or if you think that the girls were just doing it a little because they learned from our very own Lynn and that you can't be too aggressive because your medal will break. Anyways, love what you guys are doing at the women's game, and we'll take any opportunity to talk about Lynn and her iconic broken medal from being such a good celebrator. So thanks. Love you guys. Bye.
Hi, Bridget. What a great question. And thank you for reminding us all that, yes, Lynn Biondolo did fling her Olympic gold medal so hard around in the air that it actually came right off the ribbon. I don't know if she had a direct impact on, the organizing committee's medal design or any of the players' decision-making process and how hard to swing or not swing their own medals. But that moment with Lynn will live on as so epic in my book. And I'm so glad you reminded us of it. So thank you so much for calling in and just giving me the perfect image for today. That was our linked up voicemail of the week presented by Verizon. If you want to join us for the segment, the banana phone is open. Give me a call at 855-611-4050. Leave a message, ask me a question, and you could be the next featured listener thanks to our friends at Verizon. You can also send me an email anytime. Thank you to everyone who sent in their costumes and what they dressed their dogs up as this Halloween. There were witches, doctors, and lots of hot dogs, which I loved seeing. I'm definitely still accepting dog Halloween pictures at Women's Game MIB at menandblazers.com. Thank you all so much for being here with us. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel or podcast feed, and check out our newsletter, which gets delivered to your inbox every Tuesday with all the news you need to know from around the women's soccer world. We've also got an all-new episode of MUA Squared dropping tomorrow, so make sure you check that out. Thank you all again, and we'll see you soon.